This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Average Savage podcast. Our special guest today is Quincy Amarikwa. I almost said the Perfect Soccer podcast because I was just looking at you and I was like, but yeah. And just like your last name now, I can't get it out of my head from last 2 weeks ago when it was the soccer tournament, them just butchering your last name.
Good. Hey, as long as it resonates, we can always figure out and auto correct after the fact.
Obviously, us knowing each other, like I just never thought announcers got it wrong.
My name with announcers has had an interesting history. I think the last time it was pronounced that same exact way was when I'd scored my goal the goal of the year against Santa Barbara back when I was in college.
Yeah, I don't know who that was that tweeted it. They came up with the random clip. I was like, what? I definitely asked Quincy for throwback clips before, and then all of a sudden this guy just pops out of nowhere and gets one.
Well, shout out Paul Kane. So another Paul. So shout out Paul Kane. I think he's the one who clipped the original one and posted it on YouTube. Like, I don't know, was that like 15 years ago or something like that now? So shout out whoever posted that on Twitter, because that means they pulled it down, clipped it, and published it there, which is dope.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so this is your second time on the Average Savage podcast. The backstory that people might not know is actually I interviewed Amobi Akugo, and I was like, yo, I want to interview like an entrepreneur that's a soccer player, like another one, and he mentioned you, and that's how we got connected, and then we've been connected ever since. So I think that was back in 2019 or 18-ish.
Yeah, 18, 19-ish. Shout out Amobi. Appreciate him and that link. Fellow Nigerian entrepreneurs connect, and yeah, man. No, it's been great working with you and you being on the team. Like you just mentioned, Perfect Soccer Podcast is what you almost said. You've obviously been helping us manage that for over that's like 4 years now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Time flies.
Yeah, man, it's dope. Consistency. That's the key.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like I just mentioned 2 weeks ago was the soccer tournament. So tell me how Mike McGee and Sneaky Fox hit you up about it.
Yeah, well, that's what you see behind me there. So shout out Sneaky Fox. That's the Sneaky Fox custom limited edition Perfect Soccer premium soccer match ball. We're the official ball of the team, which was amazing opportunity just overall. For those who don't know, Mike and I played together for Chicago Fire back, when he was MLS Cup MVP year. He was a guest on Quincy Time. Shout out 10-year anniversary of Quincy Time for those who tuned in and watched the first MLS sketch comedy show dropped on the interwebs. And just, I think reflecting back on all those times in the locker room and playing together, and then the opportunity for the soccer tournament came up. Mikey gave me a call and said, "Hey, man, I need you to come and play for the squad." And I was like, "Say less. Let's get after it."
Yeah, and I think a lot of people didn't know what it was going to be, and it turned out to be like bigger than anyone thought it was going to be, and I think it's going to blow up even more. And then your team was really good. I think the commentators were first. You guys were sneaky, apparently, to the commentators. But like what I knew, I was like, all right, there's a lot of former pros, and all this. So I figured you guys were going to do well. And then you had, I would say, the goal of the tournament. You got number 3 on SportsCenter. So what was that like?
It was dope, man. I mean, that game was a lot of fun. Just prepping for and getting to. There was a lot of U.S. men's national team legends on that side, So getting to get out there and play and compete and see who still has it, see where they're at, see how people think the game. This probably goes into a lot of the other stuff that we've talked about in the past, and the hashtag Ask the Soccer Pro Show episode, and just breaking down the mental aspect of the game and how to approach the game and what it means to be a professional and what professionalism looks like, and just the opportunities to just play the game that you love in any capacity is always a blessing, but being able to do that at that level with that quality and caliber of players with the with the resumes and the accolades that they have, and being you know fortunate enough to be in a place and position to score a goal that ended up making it on Sports Center. That's pretty dope. I mean, for me, I was reflecting on a little bit. I can't think of a player in professional sports that's in free agency and made Sports Center. So I'm just thinking of uh, so hopefully some highlights we can add to the resume, and just keep playing the game, man. I mean, the tournament was dope. It was fun, and yeah, I'm still, to be honest, I'm still just reflecting on the whole thing and like what it was, what it means, where we're at.
Playing 2 games a day for like 4 days straight.
That's what I'm saying. Like the tournament was extremely efficient. So shout out my engineers out there, right? Like uh, it was efficient. The cadence was there, but you've got to have a lot of experience to be able to manage that much uncertainty and that many questions. And I mean, that's the first time I personally, so when I'm thinking about myself personally, that's the first time I personally like even connected a pass or made a pass to many of those guys in soccer ever, you know? And I think this is similar. It's the first time guys were ever in the same room on the same team, let alone figuring it out, trying to get to some type of understanding, and have that translate into a team dynamic and culture that would result in getting results. So, my focus is and always has been on uh, the mental side of it, just having the right mentality and approaching it like a rookie. And that's how I've approached my entire career, and that's how I approach the tournament. And I think as we as we get more and more time like removed from it, we kind of like reflect on all the everything that it is, everything it was, and everything it has the potential to be. Like, uh, yeah, I'm still you're seeing me in real time. I'm still processing it, right? Like, it was on short notice. We go there. We're 2 games a day, back to back to back. You making it. You're trying to win the tournament. Then you also have your real life and what you got going on back home, and get back to that. Like, it was very interesting, but it was a lot of fun though. It was definitely a lot of fun.
How did the team come together and like adapt to the changes? 7-and-7, smaller field. Obviously, you guys are all pros. You guys had like beach soccer players as well. So like, how did you like in that short period of time? Because I know other teams like trained together and you guys didn't. So like, and what was even like that game that it was? I think you were down 1-0 and then came back and won with the target score 1-2 to 1.
I'll always reference mentality and experience, right? And like an openness and willingness to like acknowledge and admit when you're wrong, and try to do and be the best you can for the team. And I think everybody who showed up was willing to do that. And just like in a season, uh, just like in a season where there's ebbs and flows, there's injuries, there's results that don't go your way, and as it relates to the tournament, like all of that happened just on a extremely condensed timeline, like, and your ability to adapt to what the game needs in the moment based on who and what's in front of you, um, is a testament to your mentality and your experience. And I think the guys had the right mentality, and we had enough experience and a willingness for everybody to be bought in on a bigger goal of not only enjoying ourselves and having fun, but like showing people a different way to go about winning. You can have fun, enjoy yourself, right? I think that was what really set the Sneaky Fox team apart. We were doing it our way. We were doing it fun. We were enjoying ourselves. We didn't take ourselves too seriously, but we do take what we do seriously. And I feel that was very unique to our team at that tournament, and I think that'll be very. I think that's very important in terms of just building locker room culture in general.
I think many people know you're a free agent, not retired. So why should a team sign you?
I believe I'm very good for a locker room. I'm there holding myself accountable every day, and I do that by wanting to give 100% in every single training session. You know, like the game is the game. The game that's going to come. That's on the weekend. Who's going to start? Who's going to play? That's not in your control. That's the coaching staff. You know, they make those decisions. What I can do as a player is I can show up to training every day and give 100% of my effort and do everything I can to make myself and my teammates better. And I think that's what I do really well, and I do that very consistently. And I believe that's why, you know, I've played professional for as long as I have, and that's what I would continue to do. And what's I think the advantage of having 13 years professional under my belt at this point and being able to kind of reflect on my career so far, I'm also able to reflect on relationships I've built with players in the locker room, and where and how their careers have progressed and developed over time, and where my career and my development as a player has developed over time, and those experiences I think are very valuable for a locker room, and and yeah, hopefully it just makes it simple. I think it's a valuable asset to have in the locker room, and I'm a good locker room guy, and I enjoy it, and I love to compete, and I think that only bodes well for a positive winning culture that wants to win championships, because that's what I want. That's my expectation whenever I show up at any level, even if it's the local pickup games here, or it's at the playing at the highest level, or playing in the tournament like the soccer tournament. Like, I'm there to win the $1 million, to win the tournament. I want to win championships, and if that means I need to score a goal to help our team, you know, to help our team get into a position to win a game, or that means I need to be on the sideline cheering my teammate on to be encouraged to get back on defense to help us secure, you know, secure the our back line, or I need to do that. I'm willing to do that, and I feel I do a good job of getting the guys around me to buy in on that as well too. So.
What about when you get on the field and you're off the field, Quincy, and then on the field, Quincy? Is there a light switch that goes on?
That would be a great question to ask people who know me. Like, I feel like
I'm gonna say yes, because I was like, all right, this is like, I saw you playing, and I was like, all right, this is a different Quincy. Like, he's not messing around right now.
okay, see, that's great. That's helpful feedback. Like, because I have my own point of view and view of it.
Yeah, like I think like even at the tournament in general, I think like even like the first couple games everyone I think was having like fun and whatever, and then I think there was like a switch. Like, you guys are like, all right, no, we're actually like really good, so we're gonna go try to win this.
Yeah, and I think for me, that's my approach and thinking from the beginning. I believe we're really good, and I believe we have the capacity to win, and that's a belief, and that has to be onboarded by everyone in the organization, like, and team. You know, so I'm thinking like big and small. It doesn't matter. Like, you have to have that belief. Maybe your experience hasn't told you that you've won anything or you haven't accomplished anything yet, but having the belief that you have the capacity to do it you have to have that. And um, you know, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to play soccer, um, whether that's professional or just, you know, I went and played a pickup yesterday. Like, soccer is a gift. It's where, you know, if you're blessed enough to be able to have the ability to be healthy and play the game, like, I never wanted to squander that opportunity, um, to be able to do that. And then the fact that I got the chance to play professionally and get paid to do that, that even took it to a whole nother level of gratitude, because now it's like, hey, yeah, I think you're helping me kind of reflect on the experience and the process. Like, I take it very, very seriously. I take the game very, very, very seriously, especially at the on the professional level, the professional side, because because it's a gift, and I want to give my all. And I never, ever, at youth all the way to pro, I never, practice, it doesn't matter. I never want to leave feeling as though I could have given more. I'm gonna miss goal. I'm gonna miss shots. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna lose the ball, but I'm never gonna take a play off. That's for sure. I will never do that.
It reminds me of like in Europe, the soccer teams could go if they do bad, they go to the second tier.
You're talking about they can get relegated. Yeah, and almost every other league other than America, you can get relegated.
Like, and I saw something recently on Twitter, and they said, like, imagine if that happened in America, but that would never happen because, like, the owners make too much money and all that, and blah blah. So basically, like, a team could just suck for years and just be like, whatever, doesn't matter. So that's why it's like funny because, like, and how I work with a lot of boxers and MMA fighters, and it's just like they always have to believe they're gonna win, because if they don't win, like, that's really on their career. Like, if they don't win, they're not gonna get paid more, or they're not. So, like, that's literally like life or death almost.
Yeah, we could get really deep into the weeds on that, but I'll try to keep it succinct and brief. My approach in how I think the game is like a fighter, is a boxer, life and death, right?
Then that's what I think. That's what I was getting at. Like, when you said all that, that's why I was like, and we're gonna get into something later, but yeah, but
I show up and I'm like, all right, Paul, what are we doing, bro? What do you want to ask me? Like, to the best of my ability, I try to articulate what the experience is while I'm in it, right? And sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's, but that's just, that's the creativity, that's the trying to process all the information, all the different things in real time, and like trying to convey this during a time where we can actually like record our thoughts and where we are and what we're going through in real time. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to go too deep in the weeds, but like, imagine at any point in time in history, in just American history, of someone that you look up to, or someone that you are inspired by, or you've learned about in school or in books. What if there was literally like an hour interview podcast with that person in real time, talking through like the experience, the emotions, the ups, the downs, the approach, like how you're trying to go about it. Like that would be that. I feel like that would be pretty cool to be able to tap into. But yeah, I'm not trying to derail on what you're on your point. It's, yes, I approach it that way, and it doesn't, in my mind, you don't have to have promotion relegation to approach every game like there is promotion relegation. That's, hopefully that summarized.
yeah, definitely. And then I know you've been getting different coaching licenses. So, is that what you want to do in your future?
Uh, Not really. I signed up to get my coaching license so that I could understand the language of coaches. So like you just meant.
Conspiracies.
Sorry?
Conspiracies.
Conspiracy. Like, I want to like, listen, in professional sports,
You would do that. That's hilarious.
look, in professional look, here's the thing about professional sports, bro. Everybody will tell you how bad you are, how wrong you are, how dumb you are. Like, you missed that shot, that means it's because you don't take it I mean, like, the level of criticism and scrutiny for professional athletes, I mean, is the highest. And it's because, traditionally, most of the time, professional players are paid the highest. So I get it. Not necessarily in soccer, but I get it generally. When someone says or tells me like, hey, you got this wrong, or you could be better, or you're selfish, or you're not looking at it objectively, or you're, like any of that, to the best of my capacity, I'm trying to be open-minded and be like, you know what? Okay, how could I be better? How's this? Okay, you don't understand this, you don't get that? All right. Well, let me try to understand the coach's point of view and the coach's perspective. What's the classes they go through? What's the language they're speaking? How does it break down? Okay, cool. Let me learn. I want to understand. Yeah, I'm just like, I feel like it's valuable to have an open mind and try to learn things, even if you don't necessarily have interest in pursuing it. Maybe one day I do want to coach, or I want to be like, so yeah. I don't see. Hopefully that's answering the question. I was just like, okay.
That's the most Quincy answer ever right there.
Okay, there you go. I don't understand what that means, but I trust you. I hope that's a positive.
That's not a bad thing.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
Well, if you ever want to coach your sons too, you'll be ready.
Oh, 100%. Like that ties to the mini ball you see up there. Like, my focus has been on trying to recreate the positive, amazing experience I had through the game of soccer with my father, which was just, hey, you know what I mean? Enjoy it, have fun, express yourself, like, and yeah, because it was so positive, because it was amazing experience, I wanted to do everything I could to get to get better at the game, so I could spend more time with my dad and play the game that I love. And having played professional as long as I have, an unfortunate truth about the professional game, and I've spoken about this in previous episodes on my podcast, um, is, you know, when money is there and there's a lot of attention, the fun aspect of the game, the passion aspect of the game, starts to no longer take a priority, and that was something I didn't like too much and appreciate too much. I still don't over the course of my career, but you know, nothing prevents you as a player from, you know, investing your time in things that can help facilitate that when you're off the field. So that mini ball, it was developed as a result of that, and having those around so my kids can develop that same level of relationship with the game on their own, with no like pushing from me for them to have to play the game, to play pro. It's like, hey, the balls are there, you want to kick them, cool. You don't want to, great. Like no pressure. And that's what the P in the perfect soccer stands for, passion. Like, you have to genuinely be passionate about it on your own. If someone has to convince you to kick the ball around, if someone has to convince you to wake up and go do extra training, if someone has to convince you to like, if someone other than yourself has to convince you to do it, you're not going to, maximize the chances of you being able to do this at a professional level for any.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's for anything.
And that might seem unfair or not, you know, I mean, however you want to look at it, but it's got to work somehow.
Yeah. No, and even going into the perfect soccer, I know it's recently was the 10-year anniversary. So like, did you ever think you'd make it to 10 years?
Oh, I'm already thinking about what we're gonna do for the 100-year anniversary, bro. You, like, yeah, it's not Paul. Like, it's life and death. It's not an option. You're gonna be there and alive, or you're gonna be dead and not. It's not gonna be there. So let's plan to be there. Let's be real positive, optimist, futurists. Let's say, hey, we're all gonna be live. We're gonna be there. Okay, when we're there, what do we want to be able to do? What are we gonna want to be able to say we can do? Okay, so what's the work that we have to do now to make sure that at year 10, at year 20, at year 30, at year 100, we're able to do that? So yes, long answer. Yes, I knew we'll be here at year 10 because, like you're seeing on my hat here, right? Long-term winners mindset. Like, pick something that you believe that you're going to be committed to for the rest of your life, and then build from there.
Perfect soccer is going to be the official ball next year of the soccer tournament. So
I'm excited. I'm excited because I believe we, by getting to year 10, right? It puts us in a position where those who come and look can see this isn't something that just started yesterday. You know what I mean? This isn't something that started a year ago. This isn't something that just happened as a result of because the soccer tournament is picking up or because the World Cup is coming, you know, in 3 years. You're saying, no, this started over a decade ago, back when nobody was paying attention to soccer, back when nobody was seeing the future vision of, or I won't say nobody, I'll say very few people were able to see a larger vision of soccer. And that's where I want to be very clear on. The number of people who probably started a soccer company 10 years ago, there's probably thousands. But how many stuck to it consistently through year 1, year 2, 3, 5, and 10? That's where, to I think your point of like, people respect it differently, because then they can go and they can verify themselves. You can go and type in, you know, Quincy time, Quincy Amarikwa, perfect soccer, MSL. You can type all those things in on YouTube, on Google, and then you can go and see, oh wow, okay, this was published a decade ago. You know what I mean? This was published 8 years ago. This was published 5 years ago. Um, and you can see how we've been learning.
first soccer player on YouTube.
First MLS player on YouTube. First to do not only to do a sketch comedy show, also to do first MLS player to do a vlog. Because I was saying, hey, the characters and people that I'm meeting in the locker room, this needs to be documented. And at the time, it wasn't seen as it wasn't seen as positive or integral to like professional sports as it is today.
Yeah, and isn't it cool to see now that that's like the main thing that people want to see?
It's bittersweet. I'd be lying if I didn't feel a little bit like, man, we were doing this, and then people were slamming the door in our face and telling us we're dumb and like this is never going to work and this is stupid, right? But I'm grateful because of that, and we still remained consistent in what we were doing. I can still speak to that here today. So the kid who's going like, well, people are slamming the door in my face and no one believes in me and my parents don't believe in me or my friends don't believe in me or the coach doesn't give me, I'm going like, okay, how are you going to, uh, how are you going to utilize that to, to get better, to improve? Like, like it's not going to be easy. People aren't going to believe immediately, especially if you're going to do something that people have never seen before and you're going to do it in an innovative manner that is going to, to set a new standard. If you want to be GOAT, you want to be great, you want to be, you want to make all-time lists, you're going to have to do all-time things. And that means it's going to go against what a lot of people have come to believe to be the only way. But it isn't, and but sometimes it's gonna require that you remain committed and consistent to your approach for 10 years before anyone's willing to listen to you. So then the question comes back to you. The questions, do you got the answer? QA Quincy Amarikwa, you tapped into the Quinspiracy, right? You ask yourself a question, you got to come up with the answer. And what's the answer you're going to come up with? Is it are you committed to doing the work necessary consistently for 10 years, regardless if anyone listens to you? Yeah. Then that right there will let you know.
Definitely feel you. And even like I've gotten, 10,000 views on an episode and I gotten 5 views on an episode, but I still just keep going. Like, so like I've seen it. I've seen it. Back to another question. I'm going to ask you one of the same questions I asked you back in 2019, and then we're going to compare the answers. So what advice would you give to a young player trying to make either get a scholarship or try to make it to the pros?
Okay, Quincy 2023 has a lot more experience, a lot more platforms, a lot more content that he's created as a result of his experiences, right? So this version of Quincy would recommend you go to perfectsoccerskills.com/PSTM, right? To create an account, because all the things that we've just touched on generally are all built from mentality, mindset, how you approach things, how you be consistent in inconsistent times. And throughout my career, I documented those journeys so that those who want to go to play college, those who want to play pro, have access to as accurate of information as possible from someone who's doing it in real time and trying to make it work. So from there. Now, if you say, hey, 2023 Quincy didn't have those and didn't build that out and wasn't consistent with doing that from 2013 and beyond, my focus, my advice would be, hey, your mentality and how you're going to choose to approach each day is going to determine whether or not you're going to get to where it is that you want to be. So that ties to a lot of stuff that we said in terms of consistency. Life's going to be hard, so you choose what you're willing to work hard for, and do that long enough, and maybe some things about that will become easy for you. But life won't ever be easy.
I know you also recently, I don't know, was it like 2021 when you bought a farm? And I was like, this is interesting and dope. So, and I seen just all the stuff, like the content you made, and now you and Serena are like growing stuff out there and things like that, right? You have animals yet?
Yeah, we're cattle. Do cattle. We're looking into goats, chickens.
Was that like was that like a long-term goal to get a farm, or was that just random?
Well, to start a farm, yeah. We bought the land in 2020.
But what made you want to get a farm?
I think our generation may have lost our connection to land, and understanding its importance. And I think to the same point where you're saying like, hey, moving fast and moving quick, there's value in that, and that's good. But there's also value in moving slow and taking your time, right? And like, food takes time to grow, and we wanted to, do it organic. And you'd said we're growing some food and doing that. We've got figs out there, so we've got our organic fig farm, and we've been learning how to how to expand that, utilizing what we have, and then developing the land so that we can be as efficient with it as possible and productive, and also show, I guess, like, show farming is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, land ownership is cool. Like, not knowing what you're doing but still trying anyway is cool. Like, making mistakes is human. Like, I think this ties back to what we were just talking about, where I say, hey, it's a 10-year anniversary of Quincy time when we launched the sketch comedy show. What I was looking for, the link, and I'll share it with you, is where you said your I think the question that was asking me is like, what's your guilty pleasure? What do you spend your time on? And for me, is work, and that's where I think that's where me and you resonate a lot. Like, I can definitely relate with you. Like, you're in somewhere, we're there, but you were like, hey, how do we build this? How do we do that? What the land was for me, and us starting the farm just for myself personally, was just more. It was an opportunity to, like, you know, ground myself, uh, take time, not have to be in a rush as it relates to certain things. Like, it just gives you some stability in a very hyper moving, fast paced world that's always next,
You have
and
cell phone service out there?
uh, I love the fact that it is very not.
All right, are you ready for the best question? Because I saved it for last.
I guess I don't know, because you hit me with random stuff all the time, and then we go down rabbit holes, and then you try to bring it back in.
Me and you've been talking about this for years internally about, like I said before, I'm into boxing and MMA. I work with a lot of guys about fighting Zlatan in either a boxing match and an MMA match,
You mean Zlatan fighting me? Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
and then what happens? He retires recently, and then all of a sudden, a couple days ago, Misfit Boxing, who is KSI's brand from the UK, posts a video. Their team posts a video of him working out, not even doing any boxing, just like sit ups on a punching bag, which was random, and then like pretty much asking like if he's joining the universe, and he said maybe. So, and I was gonna text you this last night, and I was like, no, I'm having Quincy on the podcast tomorrow, so I gotta show him live. So here's like the official first fight poster.
Oh yeah, love that. Yes, yeah. Paul, yes, make it happen, bro. Make it happen.
Quincy Amarikwa versus Zlatan. Misfits Boxing, Misfits MMA now. Maybe we're just creating something new for them.
Misfits MMA. MMA. I want MMA. Yes, Paul. We're talking about consistency, bro. Oh, okay. And this ties to, people think, even your own teammate, even your own teammates don't even think that you can do something or make it happen. Paul's over here being saying, no, this, and I'm consistent. No, Paul, make the fight happen, bro. Let's get this done. Let's make it happen. And I, I'm thank you, Paul. I love that. Just please make this fight happen, bro.
I'm gonna say Serena sorry in advance because she's probably gonna hate me that if this actually happens.
When he loses, he also has to sign for the Sneaky Fox team for the soccer tournament as well too. So that's part of his losing package when he loses the fight. Okay.
World
And
domination.
then yeah, then we'll add a couple of other things. Well, this is the first time we're making it real. So like, we gotta come together with a package. Like, what do we win in here? How are they making this happen? You're following up and reaching out to them.
Yeah, this clip is gonna this is gonna be the clip.
Love that. Let's make some more. Make more stuff, bro. This is yeah, man.
We weren't ready for that one. I told you there was
No,
surprise.
I wasn't. But hey, I wasn't ready for it, but I wasn't ready to see that, but I'm here for it. I'm ready for anything, bro. Let's do it. You gotta stay ready so I don't have to get ready. MSL,
Yeah.
baby.
For sure. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Can you let the listeners know where they can follow you at?
QuincyAmarikwa.com. You can get links, access to all the links and stuff over there. Soccer specific related stuff at perfectsoccerskills.com. And then if you follow me on all my socials is at Quincy Amarikwa, and then that links out to all of our stuff. So that would be Perfect Soccer, Evolve NFTs, our NFT project. We didn't even touch on that, what we've been developing on that. Amarikwa Acres, Evolve Online, and yeah, all the stuff's in the bio.